This is a premium curry. It costs over $1,000 and it was beautifully constructed by Chef Atul here at Kanishka restaurant in London. Today I'm on a mission to explore the unlikely world of British curry at 3 different places with 3 different price tags.
It was not on our menu in the beginning, but due to popular demand, we caved.
You caved? And by the end of this video, you'll see the most expensive curry that money can buy. So what goes into making a £1,000 curry? But first, one of the cheapest curries you'll find in one of the most expensive cities in the world. It starts with a ladle full of oil, chopped onions, and green chilies. Right now we're at the Indian YMCA. I've never heard of an Indian YMCA, but I have heard of a YMCA. In the USA, it's just a gym. But here it's very different. The chef builds its signature taste with star anise, mace, cinnamon, bay leaves, cloves, cardamom, cumin, and nutmeg.
This is YMCA Indian Student Hostel, London. This is started in the year 1919. Now it's more than 105 years.
We are here to provide subsidized accommodation and excellent food for international students for a very, very low cost.
But where are the subsidies coming from? Next, diced tomato, garlic ginger paste, coriander powder, chili powder, turmeric powder, and garam masala are added.
We have a trading organization, which is a hotel, and they sort of provide the funding for us to keep the costs low for the charity.
Cubes of lamb join the pan with a cup of water. From here, the chef lets it simmer, soaking up all those flavors. The British developed a deep appreciation for Indian food during their 89 years of colonial rule in India. These days, Indians are the largest minority group in the UK, so it surprises me to hear Sam say,
It is very difficult to get Indian food in London.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not just about Indian food, it's about a home-cooked meal. You go to some Indian restaurant, or we like to call Asian restaurants, and the food is sort of catered towards the English or the British taste.
Sure, what's wrong with that?
It's a bit bland. It could be a bit bland.
Ooh.
So here we have chefs from different parts of India. We have interactions with the students, find out what they like, and they tend to give it that little subtle touches that will sort of make them feel like it's a home-cooked meal.
Our chef tosses fresh coriander leaves, curry leaves, and half a tablespoon of salt into the pan. He lets it simmer a bit longer before confidently sending it to the dining hall. Seema, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Meet Seema. This gifted British Indian was a chef de partie at various Gordon Ramsay restaurants. Now she's a cherished food content creator.
In Indian culture, food is such a prevalent and important factor that kind of brings everyone together. My mum, she always made Indian food growing up. We always had a fresh meal every night. We never had leftovers, we never had frozen food, we never had takeaway. So because of that, it kind of made me realize how important food was to me and kind of gave me my love for cooking.
In general, Indian food in London, is it expensive?
I guess it really just depends where you're going. London itself is quite expensive.
Right.
If you're going on the outskirts of London, it will definitely be a lot cheaper.
Here I'm told that if you came in for lunch and you got lamb curry, maybe some rice, it's gonna be under £10. Is that pretty good?
Yeah, £10 is great, especially lamb's an expensive meat. You know, you're probably getting a big portion of it, so £10 is fantastic.
I say we give it a shot.
Yes. You can tell it's really, really good when it has like this oil on the top here. That's a sign of a well-made curry, I would say.
If we were in India right now, would we be eating with our hands or would
Yeah, I would eat all of this with my hands. I feel like I don't even know how to eat this with a spoon, to be honest.
Oh, okay. You should just eat however you normally eat.
Yeah. So this is paratha, and it's really hard to make.
Flour, egg, milk, sugar, salt, oil, and water join hands in the making of paratha.
To get the dough so soft and be able to make it so thin is such a skill to do. And it's interesting when they make it, like they don't write down how to make it. They don't have a specific quantities, it's just how you feel.
Yeah, the recipe has to be in your heart.
Yeah, it
and maybe
does.
a little in your DNA. He then gathers and coils the dough like a turban before running it over with a rolling pin. A short trip to the flat top with multiple oil drizzles turns this flatbread brown and crispy. Last, but perhaps the most crucial, the paratha smash. Oh, I love paratha so much. It's so flaky and layered. The flavors are outstanding. It's spicy and full of spices. The lamb has a nice lamby taste. It tastes like lamb. I'm so bad at describing Indian food because oftentimes there might be 12 or 24 spices in there. Sure, I could say, oh, I taste the chili powder and the turmeric is in there, and so is every other spice. So how do you describe Indian food?
I would say This is very well spiced, but it's not spicy. You can definitely taste the whole spices, like the clove and the cinnamon, which give it more of like a earthy kind of flavor into it, as well as the main spice, which is like chili powder, ground coriander, ground cumin. And I think that's quite difficult, is the balancing of spices in Indian food.
This is our first and most affordable location, but from here, we're gonna ratchet it up a bit. Later today, I'll be trying a curry 100 times more expensive than this. But first, a very controversial curry, one that's both loved and hated. It was invented not in India, but right here in the United Kingdom. I'm talking about chicken tikka masala. But before that, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. Let's talk about breaking the stigma around therapy. We all know that mental health is just as important as physical health, but trying to find help can still be really scary. Many of us hesitate to reach out because of the misconceptions surrounding therapy, but it's time to change the narrative. That's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp Online Therapy was designed with your comfort in mind. They're challenging the idea that therapy is only for those with mental illnesses. It's easy to think that way because for a long time, therapy was pretty inaccessible. But let me be the first to tell you that now it's for everyone. Just like lifting weights and doing cardio is great for your body, therapy does the same thing for your mind. And BetterHelp makes the entire process convenient because it's built around your schedule. And guess what? It's also pretty affordable. To get started on BetterHelp, simply fill out a brief questionnaire to help match you with a licensed therapist who fits your needs and preferences. Once you're matched, you can contact them by phone, video, or chat at any time that suits you. And don't worry, because if you're not completely comfortable with your therapist for any reason, you can switch at no additional cost. BetterHelp is an excellent option for anyone ready to take control of their mental health. Visit BetterHelp.com/besteverfood or select Best Ever Food Review Show during sign up to receive a special discount on your first month of therapy. So head on over to BetterHelp.com/besteverfood to start your journey today. Now, back to the show. To learn more about this British Indian dish, we've come here to Tayyabs. This restaurant is a 50-year-old family business that's earned its reputation for its pure Pakistani flavor that's hard to find in London.
My dad used to make his one pot of curry. At first, people were struggling with the spices, and people used to tell my dad, Mr. Tayyab, dial it down a bit, you'll get more customers. My dad said, I'd rather stop.
A man of integrity.
Yeah.
Greeting us today, Aleem, the second-generation owner of Tayyabs. In coming years, I thought there was just Indian food, but actually I'm told this is British Indian food that you'll find all over London.
It is very difficult to get the Indian food in London.
What is the difference to you between Indian and British Indian? British food, with its focus on simplicity and natural flavors, contrasts sharply with the spice-rich complexity of Indian cuisine. When fused together, they form British Indian food, tailored to the British palate, which may mean fewer bold spices, or as Sandeep describes,
It's a bit bland.
There's some British Indian restaurants, they do shortcuts. They use spice in a jar, canned, and they just cheat. But us here, we're keeping it real.
Despite Aleem's pride in authentic Pakistani flavors, one of the most popular dishes at Tayyabs is a dish that was invented here in the United Kingdom.
It was not on our menu, but due to popular demand, we caved.
You caved?
We caved.
This dish is chicken tikka masala. Do you know how this dish came to be?
I think it originated in Glasgow. This guy, man was making chicken tikka, which is just chicken, just grilled, basically.
Chicken tikka. Cubes of chicken breast are marinated with a mix of chili, garlic, ginger, lemon juice, homemade spice, coriander, oil, and yogurt. Then they're skewered and plopped on the grill.
Someone came in, I think someone who British came in and said we wanted more sauce in it. So he added a tin of tomato soup, which made it a lot more creamier, tomatoier, a lot less spicy. He gave it back and the man was absolutely obsessed with it, couldn't get enough of it, and then they put it on the menu. And I think that's actually like one of the national dishes of England.
Though Tayyab's kitchen might have caved,
We caved.
their standards here allow no canned tomato sauce. Fresh tomatoes, onions, and plenty of oil go into a pot, where the chef adds garlic ginger paste, chili powder, turmeric powder, and salt. He mixes the pot well, then blends everything into a smooth, vibrant orange soup. If you go to India now, can you find it on menus there?
Yeah, you can now. It's done the crossover.
That's wild. Fans of Indo-Paki cuisine might notice the absence of curry leaves, coconut milk, and the usual whole dried spices in this dish. Are there other Pakistani or Indian recipes that have been adapted in this way to suit the local palate?
That's just the one.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Amazing. The chicken tikka joins the sauce, and together they jump into a fiery vessel. Please, dish yourself first.
Oh, no, you're my guest, so
Okay.
let me do you.
I accept. Big succulent pieces of chicken
Yeah.
and lots of sauce. We've got some butter naan right here.
Yeah, it looks so buttery. Oh my God.
Here, the naan is crafted from a dough blend of flour, water, yeast, sugar, and sometimes yogurt or milk. Naan is typically cooked in a clay oven, where the dough clings to the walls and bakes to golden brown, puffy perfection.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Will I be disappointed? Will I be blown away? Will I be saddened? Will I be distraught? The flavors, not a ton of spices,
Yeah.
very tomatoey, and pretty heavy, pretty oily. And that's it. No spiciness, it's not hot. The spice is literally coming from the tomato.
Yeah, it's a very, very mild curry. It still has that like whisper of like a traditional Indian curry.
I love the idea that an Indian street food vendor went up to my ear and whispered, masala. I was like, is the masala in the room with me now?
But it's still really delicious. It's very, very tomatoey. I actually really like the char of the chicken as well.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of the char flavor from it being roasted over the charcoal. So overall, I like it. There's something satisfying about it, but then there's also something that's missing.
The spice.
The spice.
To be honest, of all the Indian food, I like my mom's the best. But when I'm going to a restaurant where I want to have loads of friends be happy, somewhere like this is absolutely perfect. It's like a gateway Indian dish. If you're worried that Indian food's going to be too spicy for you, it's a great way to kind of get used to it. And then you can start delving into like the really spicy stuff.
It was very nice to try both these meals with you and to get your perspective.
Yeah.
That said, from here, we are parting ways. From here, I'm headed to a restaurant that's serving a curry that costs £1,000.
God.
Can you even imagine what it could be?
Is it like 1,000 curries?
I think they found an endangered animal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kanishka, in their words, offers a modern interpretation of dishes from northeastern India in a sophisticated dining room.
So what we call fine dining Indian here is whatever I create based on the ingredients I get here, however using my own techniques and spices. We definitely have lobster on the menu. We also have venison. We use truffle from time to time. We sell our 3-course lunch menu for £45, but we also sell our tasting menu paired with wines for £250.
The captain here is Chef Atul, the first Indian chef to earn a Michelin star. Now he has 2.
Today you're taking on the challenge of making a curry that costs £1,000. When we came to you with this challenge, why'd you accept it? Why'd you want to take this on?
I'm always up for a challenge. We are not taught no in India. We are taught yes. Before you finish your sentence, you say yes, we can. That's hospitality for us.
Do you think when this comes out that there will be haters out there, that there will be people who say Indian food is meant to be humble, it's not meant to be this premium, high-end, inaccessible, super expensive food? I mean, what would you say to people who have that point of view?
You know, you're right, but that's for every cuisine. You know, French cuisine can also be very humble and sweet and nice and easy, and you have to pay very little money for it. But French cuisine is also massively elevated, where £1,000 a dish would be actually nothing.
So in just a moment, you're going to be making this 1,000-pound curry. I would love if you could show us some of the ingredients.
Sure we can. This is beautifully live, recently caught lobster. So obviously it comes quite a prime price.
The lobster is poached with mace, star anise, and black cardamom. Then it's deshelled.
So I've just seared the lobster and left it in spice butter where it'll be poaching. My aim is to keep the temperature of the lobster below 55 degrees centigrade, so it's just nicely congealed.
But just you wait, because this isn't even the most expensive item on his ingredient list.
Morels are really prime mushrooms, which I'm hugely fond of, and come summer, British forests are full of morels and we have them foraged. You can get dried morels also that can be cheaper. You can also get bulk produced morels which can be done in a contained environment, but these are wild foraged morels. Scallops, which I'm quite proud of because they are from Orkney Island and they're hand dived. To me these are smaller, but I have had scallops which are as large as my palm, but this will do because lobster will take the main plate.
Atul sears the scallops with butter, curry leaves, chili, garlic, and ginger. Then he lets them rest, waiting for the other components.
And especially to do a 1,000-pound curry, you've got to use beluga caviar.
Harvested from the beluga sturgeon, primarily found in the Caspian Sea, beluga caviar is one of the world's most luxurious and sought-after delicacies. In short, that means it's really expensive. This by far is our most expensive ingredient of the day, and I can't wait to see how these rich fish eggs pair with curry.
And now we're going to start making the curry which will go with it.
Moldy sauce is Chef Atul's pick for the base. It starts with oil, mustard seeds, green curry leaves, green chili, and garlic.
And I'm not trying to color the garlic, just sweat it, and then chopped onions or chopped shallots, whichever you prefer. A pinch of salt, and once onions are nicely sweat, then you add turmeric, and we have coconut milk here.
The authentic moldy recipe is a rich, creamy, mildly spiced fish stew from Kerala, India.
There's not one dish I can put up there and say this really represents India. The cuisine is quite varied, from north to south, east to west. When I say moily, everybody knows their mind transports them to Kerala. The fish which is caught on the backwaters or from sea, cooked in moily sauce is called mean moily. But I'm going to call it lobster moily, and I'm using native lobster what we get here, one of the best in the world in my opinion. Okay guys, the sauce is ready. I'm just gonna plate it now. So this is the curry which we have made. I've just put the lobster in, and I'm gonna put one of the scallops. One of the mussels have gone in. I'm just gonna give nice slivers of summer truffle at the moment. Beluga caviar we're gonna put on top of the scallop, and something close to a half. This is called monk's beard, which have been tempura. That is worth 1,000-pound curry.
Lolly, put her there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Lolly, a mega fan of all things Indian, has visited India 7 times. Her YouTube channel features the best of Indian food and culture in London and abroad. Though she's experienced curries near and far, this will be her first elevated curry.
Well, that looks like caviar.
And her first caviar.
This is weird. This black stuff looks like wood.
And her first truffle.
We've got like a lobster fishy looking thing.
Her first taste of lobster.
And a scallop, I guess.
And her first scallop, too.
I don't know what the yellow stuff is, though.
That would be the curry.
Oh, okay.
I think we should first try the curry itself.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, it smells very good. Oh, wow. That's really good.
That's so nice.
Spicy and a ton of coconut milk coming through.
It's super rich. That is actually super delicious.
I did not expect that.
I could eat a huge bowl of that. It's very mellow, though. It's not too spicy.
Yeah, the spices are well balanced. Let's try next the scallop. Already the caviar and the scallop is a beautiful pairing. They go well together. The scallop is sweet. The caviar is briny, very heavy. But you mix that with this onslaught of spices from the curry. It's really an incredible combination. What do you think?
Slimy.
Slimy? So, did you say this is your first scallop? Wow.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Huh?
Nothing?
How old am I?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. That's rude to ask.
I'm 34.
You know what's interesting though? The inverse of that, I was in my younger 30s the first time I ever tried curry. It unlocked a part of my brain. It was like in a video game when you unlock a part of the map. I was like, I didn't know this flavor combination could exist. It blew my mind and I love it. Perhaps that will happen to you with lobster. But first, this is the morel mushroom. Oh, that's good.
It tastes like steak.
Yeah, the texture of it is almost like a beef tripe, the cow's stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
Well, I've never had cow's stomach.
I know you haven't.
But I could feel like it's earthy and meaty.
It's really good. At last we have the lobster. Now, the lobster is not just a lobster. It's also been topped with this right here. This is black truffle. In my opinion, truffles have a lot better smell than taste. I don't think they have a very profound or strong taste. Yeah, don't insert it.
Smells like leather.
Leather?
I don't know.
Maybe. I could actually, yeah. No, I think you're right. This one does actually have a little bit of that kind of leathery smell. They're not all the same.
I think maybe I'd been put off lobster because the amount of shrimps I had in Vietnam, you know, they're the massive ones, and I had them on a boat and I felt really seasick and it put me off.
You got to get back on the boat, so to speak. I think that tastes wonderful, actually. These are some really potent truffles, very expensive. I could kind of taste it, but kind of smell it at the same time while it was in my mouth. It's not a strong flavor, but it's something that you kind of like taste almost in your nose than in your mouth. Do you know what I mean?
No.
That's right. Putting the price aside, as someone who's certainly had more curries than me, would you eat this again?
Yeah, I would.
Me too. I think it tastes delicious. As somebody who's traveled so much in India, who's eaten there, and then who's also eaten plenty of Indian food here in London, what do you feel like some of the differences are between each place? Because it is different. For example, have you had chicken tikka masala?
I have. So what's catered for the British, they're a lot more creamier and basically just a lot more basic, I would say, curries. Whereas actually Indian food itself, it's not just about curries, it's about many different things, and it's like much deeper flavors and more complex dishes, I'd say.
Do you think there's still a place in London for the chicken tikka masala?
No. I think soon the tikka masala might be a thing of the past.
So even though the chicken tikka masala, it's not my favorite curry ever, but here's why I think it should still exist. Because when you compare British food and Indian food, they're polar opposites. And so with chicken tikka masala, it gives people a bridge, a safe harbor, a sanctuary, a place where they can go where they can feel safe to try something new, so they can gently step out of their comfort zone and slowly acclimate to a new, different type of cuisine that's wildly different from British food. But if people want to level up at any time, they're welcome to.
Yeah, I think it's time for people to branch out and find out what real Indian food is.
Is that your real name, Lolly?
My real name is Laura, but in India, Laura sounds like Lauda, which basically means penis.
Oh no.
When I introduced myself when I first went over to India, it didn't go down too well, especially as my surname is Payne, so I was like, hi, I'm Penis Payne, basically.
That's like every man's greatest fear. Lolly said she's brought me a gift and she wants me to open it on camera.
Yeah, it's just so you remember this day forever.
Okay, it seems like a picture frame maybe. Let's see if it's busted or not. Oh, nice.
So it says sunny side in Hindi on the top, and yeah, that's like a little caricature of you. Although the curry is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, so...
Right. Thank you.
No problem. Do you think it looks like you?
Actually, I look like I haven't eaten for a while. But the bandana and the full head of hair, I like that part.
Yeah.
Boom, today we tried 3 different curries with 3 vastly different price tags. But at the end of the day, I must choose one curry that gave me the most bang for my buck. Was it the affordable curry at the Indian YMCA? Was it the controversial chicken tikka masala at our second location? Or was it the 1,000-pound curry that costs over $1,200? Well, my choice for the curry that gave me the most bang for my buck was absolutely the YMCA curry. Those are some of the best Indian flavors I've had in a long time. And honestly, I just can't believe how affordable it all was. But what do you guys think? Which curry would you most like to try next time you come to London? Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who joined me. First of all, Seema. You can find Seema on Instagram. She's also on TikTok. Follow her, her travels, and her fun food adventures. And also, I want to thank Lolly. You can find Lolly on YouTube as she explores Indian food and culture all around London. I also want to thank all of the chefs and cooks who were part of today's video. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Otherwise, that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace. All right, I gotta get one of these red buses. Or maybe I'll get in the tube. Tube. C-H-U-B-E. Jump in the tube.